He has been in the insurance industry for more than 35 years and is currently the CEO of Pacific Insurance Berhad. He's a chartered insurer, Health Insurance Associate of America, and holds a master's in business administration from the University of Strathclyde, Glasgow, UK. He has spoken in a number of conferences at national and international level on health insurance and has written articles on health insurance in Reader's Digest and other publications. He has also participated actively in various committees in the insurance industry as the board as well as management committee Berhad. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome Mr. Sonny Tan.
Good morning.
Morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, it's normal for me to move around, but I'll try to hazard standing here, all right? Okay, I'm going to have to go very quick because I'm very fortunate to be slotted at the last slot. And initially, I went like a mail train, and then I went faster, like a Sinaran Pagi. And today, I got to go by like a bullet train because I was reminded 15 minutes is all that you get. Probably now it's 10 minutes. All right. Let me introduce who I am. You already know who I am, but I show this picture simply because as a person with a family, all right, what is the most important insurance policy for me? And I can say that to me, as an insurance man, being 35 years in the industry, the most important insurance for me is medical insurance, all right? And we have all got our own perception of insurance, and by the way, I'm a Penangite, all right? So just to remind you that I'm still from Penang. Last night, I went to visit my auntie in Ayatam, Happy Valley. I went and brought my colleague to see the house where I was born in, the room where I was born in, and it's still there. And only mistake I made yesterday was I went around the whole place, went by Chaurasta Market, and I saw this stall, Chendol Pulut. So I thought that must be the stall in Chaurasta Market. I went and I took the Chendol. And then I walked one street down and I saw somebody selling laksa, and I saw a lot of people eating there. Malays eating there, and there was a Malay laksa stall. So I stopped by, ate laksa, and it was still cheap, 3 ringgit. And then I walked further on the next road and I said, regret it. I made the wrong choice because there was just down the road a queue of 30 people queuing up for the Teochew Chendol. I said, oh, I'm in the wrong place. And down the road there was a long queue for the laksa. I said, I took the wrong laksa. So I've got to go back today. All right, let's move on. Okay, perception of insurance is that we always feel that po hiam jialan, insurance cheap people. All right. I started my career in insurance in Butterworth, in Jalan Baganwa, with a company called United General Insurance. And I always thought that insurance was the worst place to be in. Po hiam jialan. The second thing we talk about insurance, people's perception of insurance, no good one. It's like somebody begging you, a beggar, and they don't give you any returns. You pay insurance money, no claim, no returns. Okay? So you always look for investment returns. And to some, they say, oh, no need to buy insurance, fated lah, takdir. Kena means kena, never mind, God fated. To other people, it says, I'm a Christian, I trust God, and my church teach me faith, so I don't need insurance. All right? And worst of all, they say, bad things only happen to other people, don't happen to me. Right? Move on. But what is important about us is to have a good understanding of insurance that unfortunate things happen to everyone, irrespective of person. Whether you're male, female, rich, poor, any race. And when it happens, it will bring about a financial burden to you. And financial help from your family and friends is limited. They can only help you so much. They got their own family to take care of. They cannot help you a lot. And finally, what's important is that with proper preparation to the purchase of proper insurance protection, it can help you manage your financial burdens. Now, just now we heard somebody mention the top cause of financial woes, and that's from AKPK, extracted from the Star newspaper online. 26% of financial woes were caused by high medical costs, which is the #1 in the list. All right. And also, this is Madam Koi, CEO of AKPK, talking about medical insurance can bring a burden to you. Now, insurance is one of the ways to manage your financial needs. If it is one of the ways, then what kind of insurance is important for you? And just now, Fiona talks about buying the right kind of insurance, all right? Now, as an individual, I have insurances. I have all kinds of insurances, and all insurances are good. But what is more important depends on your needs, all right? You may have a life insurance, and I always joke about it. Life insurance is good, but it's good for your spouse, so that when you die, they take your money and marry again. Or it's good for your children, but it's not very good for you, because in order to get back some money and make a profit out of it, you got to live until very old. They call it the maturity age. And in some companies, maturity age is 87. In some companies, 100. At 100, you take your money, you don't know how to use them, you don't even recognize what money is. The joke is this: my auntie is 90 years old. We visited her yesterday, and during the election, she went and she voted. They painted her finger, and then she had the voting paper in one hand and the painted finger on the other hand. And when she went to cast her vote, she looked at the finger, looked at the paper, she took the paper and wiped the finger. So at 90 or at 100, when you get your money, you may be using your money to use as toilet paper, you know. So the next thing is, yeah, you may say, but I got a personal accident. Yes, personal accident is just as good as health insurance, as life insurance. It's only thing is pays when you have an accident, and of course when you die or when you're seriously injured. Then critical illness, like Fiona says, yes, it's good for you, but it pays you when you are diagnosed as having one of the 36 critical illness. But again, what's use of money to you then? And a lot of families fight over the money that they collect, but the patient don't really get to use it. But the last thing is this: when I have an accident, at whatever age I am, or when I'm sick, and I need medical treatment, and medical treatment costs me money, all right? And if I can get well, I can continue to live and earn more money. Then what I need is not to get into a financial burden to get well. And Dr. Chua Jui Ming, when he was the Minister of Health, says, the doctor heals you with the pills and kills you with the bills. They know the bills are just pingsan, all right? So to me, as an individual and as an insurer, the most important is medical insurance. Is for the living. It's something that I need to help me get well and don't put me in a financial situation. Now, we all know the need of medical insurance, which I won't run through because I got to go by like a bullet train. And what do you look for in your medical insurance is very important. I'm going to give you 7 tips. If you don't remember anything else, just remember the 7 tips, very important. First tip is when you buy a policy, make sure you buy a comprehensive policy. A policy that's adequate and comprehensive. Traditional policies are in this way, whereby it tells you that you're covered for this, there's a limit to this cover, there's a limit to that cover, there's a limit to that cover. And they also traditionally actually apply something called schedule of surgical procedures. For example, surgical fee is 4,000 here, but if you go for appendix operation, they only pay you up to 50% of 4,000. Okay? And you go for a removal of cysts or what, and the more they only pay up to 5% of that 4,000. So these are the limited cover that's in the market. So in order for you to not get into a situation, you make sure you buy a policy that's adequate. The second thing that you need to realize is that all policies in the market apply a clause called co-payment for upgraded room, because hospitals charge you different rates for services if you go to different rooms. Single room, twin sharing, 4-bedded sharing, different rates. And basically, if you buy a policy that has no adequate room and board rates, you may end up having to pay more from your pocket. Now, then you may say, if that's the case, then why don't I have more than one policy? More than one policy don't help you, all right? Because all the policies in the market contains a clause called contribution clause. In essence, it simply says that if you have more than one policy, all the 3 policies will come together to pay for your one claim in proportion to the proportion that that policy bears to the overall. So you have 3 policies, and if you are 3 policies having the same sum insured, then each one will pay 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, all right? So it doesn't help you to have more than one policy. And that's where a lot of people don't understand. A lot of insurance people also don't understand, and they wrongly advise people and says, you claim the policy first, then we're not enough, you claim the other policy. Hello, it doesn't work that way, all right? So because of that, it's important for you to look for a policy that's comprehensive, and a comprehensive policy will always have this thing called as charged subject to reasonable and customary charges. Okay? This is tip number 1. Look for comprehensive policy as charged subject to reasonable and customary charges. Okay? Number 2. This one we skip because it says definition. Number 2, when you buy a policy, always make sure that you anticipate that your policy is going to last you for long term, not for today. Buy a policy with a room and board rate higher than the current rates that in Classified Hospital. And why is it so? It's because these are a series of rates that is from Pandai Hospital, Kuala Lumpur. It can range from $80, $90, $98, all the way to $900. As an average person, you don't want 5 minutes left. You say you don't want to go to a hospital that charge you too much, so you go to what is right necessary. But when you buy a higher room, it takes care of your adequacy when you're overseas. It takes care of future needs, because future when the room rates go higher, at least you don't get caught in co-payment. And the premium may not be expensive because the premium today is charged based on the experience today. So if there are not so many rooms so high, the premium won't be that high. Okay? So basically, you find that as you get older, your cost of treatment gets higher. All right, this is what the graph is saying. So in insurance premium, we calculate average claims cost according and also your incidence rate. Number 3, always try to buy a policy that has very high per disability limit or no per disability limit. No point buying a policy, I got a policy but only charge up 30,000. So what's the point? You get in the hospital, not enough. Always buy a sum insured that is adequate. The higher the sum insured, the better. All right. Of course, there's a cost with it. All right. The next thing is this is a product that is being promoted outside by MediSavers, by MXM. We are insurer for MXM, and you find that the per disability limit and the annual limit and the lifetime limit is very high. Don't go for policies that's got very low limits. Okay. Tip number 4, very important tip. Traditional policy only provides you cover when you are young and healthy. When you make claims, they start increasing your premium. You make more claims, they start excluding some sicknesses. You make some more claims, they don't want to insure you anymore. That's called yearly renewal policies. Don't buy those policies. Buy policies that are called guaranteed renewal policies. And how do you identify a guaranteed renewal policy? A guaranteed renewal policy is one that contains a word that says renewable at the option of the policyholder. That means you choose to renew. The insurance company cannot refuse a renewal. All right, move on. Number 5, prefer to buy an individual policy compared to a group policy, because a group policy is normally not guaranteed renewable. It is a company buying to insure you as an employee. The moment you cease to be an employee, you got no more cover, and when you want to buy cover, you may be too old. Pacific has got a product that is fantastic called MediMajor, which is a real top-up over your normal medical policies. I don't have time to share this, and this is not my forum. My people down there in pink shirt, can you please stand up? These are the people that you should see. These are my Penang people, all ladies, the Charlie Angels. Okay, they can talk to you more about MediMajor, all right? But what I'm trying to say is, when you buy individual policy, it's good for you because you are in control. The policy is with you until the age that the last age of the policy. In our case, most of our products end at age 80, all right? Group policy, you're dependent on the group existence and on your membership to the group. Tip number 6, always prefer a policy that plays directly to the hospital if necessary. In the old days, we said don't do that. Buy one that you pay yourself because the hospital charges you very expensive when you have insurance, but now it's the reverse way around. Okay? And this is what you normally see. They give you a card and a number to call. Number 7, buy from a company with a reputable track record. And this is our company. I know my time is up. We are in the market for a long, long time. We belong to one of the big corporations, organizations listed in the Toronto Stock Exchange, the Fairfax Financial Holdings. We are 100% owned by them. And the founder of Fairfax is basically known to be the Warren Buffett of Canada. We sell all products, but we have distinctive competency in medical and health insurance associate. Only 5 in Malaysia, 6 in Malaysia, and we have 2 in our company and 1 with our third-party administrator. This is our core values, our branch network, and very important slide. In terms of individual medical insurance among non-life companies, we have ranked number 1 for almost all the years in the last 10 years. And if you are buying a policy from an insurer, always buy with one with a track record. And as far as capital adequacy ratio, that's financial strength of company, we have a capital adequacy ratio of 289%, which means that we can write 3 times our business that we're writing today and still be in financial health. So what to look for in your insurance? In conclusion, make sure your policy is comprehensive and adequate. Make sure you buy a room rate that's higher than the current room rate. Go for a no limit per disability or high limit per disability policy. Make sure your policy is guaranteed renewable. Make sure you try to prefer an individual to a group. Yeah, I'm doing good time. Prefer a policy that pays directly to the hospital, and finally, buy from an insurer with a proven track record. So, you can be prepared for your rising healthcare costs. If you buy your insurance, but don't buy it too late. Why you say too late? How can you be too late? When you get older, you will have more sickness and more problems, right? When you are ready to buy, when you retire, insurance company may not be ready to insure you because you're already sick. All right? You cannot buy fire insurance for a burning house, right? When you get older, you may have more sickness. So if you do even qualify to be insured, there will be a long list of exclusion, exclude this, exclude that, because they are already pre-existing conditions. And the last entry age for most policy on guaranteed renewal policies are 60. We are increasing it to 65 for Pacific Insurance. So with that, have an awesome day. Thank you. I am in good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to Mr. Sonny Tan. We'll now open the time for any questions from the floor that you would like to address to any of the three personalities up on stage. There's a mic in the center there. If you have, quickly go to the mic and pose your question. I know your stomach is growling, so we want to go for tea break. At this juncture, let's give our three panelists a big warm round of applause. Mr. Cheong, Pak Kin, Ms. Fiona Chiu, as well as Mr. Sonny Tan. Can I invite Amy to invite our honorable speakers, our guests of honor, to the VIP room for their tea break, and then followed by the rest of us. Come.